You're tuned in to Steve Megatron on Altered Geek Unlimited.
Hello, and welcome to Altered Geek. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips, and in this episode of the podcast, it's 2019, people! That's right, get motivated, get excited, get geeky. So with this announcement of 2019, not that anybody should be surprised by this by now, because it's like 10, 11 days in, we launched the new Geekcast Radio website. So if you haven't been to geekcastradio.com in a while, I suggest that you go there. The benefit of going there is that you'll get to see all of the new changes, because let's be honest here, the old site sucked. Like, literally sucked. I put it through a bunch of speed tests with the new site, and the new site destroys the old site. Not to mention the mobile version of the website is much friendlier, and there's a lot of new features. So, this episode is not going to be entirely all about geekcastradio.com. After I talk about this, I'm going to talk about something else pertaining to gaming that I was able to acquire over the Christmas break and be able to play. So, that being said, going back to geekcastradio.com, myself and Blanchard have been working tirelessly on this. It started out as like a pet project of mine in April of 2018. Because I knew we were getting close to the 10-year anniversary of Geekcast Radio, I originally built the first geekcastradio.com in April of 2009. So I figured it was fitting to kind of start it around the same time. Although it did get to launch earlier than our 10-year date, it more so had to do with we have a lot of things coming between interviews that are going to be scheduled for next week that I am going to be block recording with people for future episodes of the podcast. And I also wanted, for when those people promote it, to show a good geekcastradio.com. Not to mention that, but we're going to have the top 100 wrestling countdown. Unfortunately, all the people that said that they would submit lists have yet to do so. So if you haven't yet, go to my Twitter page, and I might just embed that tweet into this post. But the thing about it is we need people to submit lists. So if you're a podcaster, if you're a wrestling aficionado with a blog, you write, you do a podcast, you do a video show, you do YouTube, whatever the publication may be, we're asking that people submit lists of 25 to 100 of their, of these wrestlers that they think are the most prolific and kind of important in their genre. So, with that being said, that's another thing that's coming down the pipe. We're going to do the GCRN Awards again. However, it's going to be in probably March. More so that I get more time to tweak and work the bugs out of geekcastradio.com. Now that the new site is launched, Blanchard and myself are going to be going through the back catalog of pretty much every show and redoing all the MP3 linkage. So we will be able to listen to every episode of every show on the entire network again. I don't know if anybody remembers, but back in like 2009 through, I want to say 2014, we had the entire catalog of everything on the site. And then problems arose. We constantly had bandwidth issues. We constantly had space issues where there just wasn't the room. We're no longer hosting our own MP3s anymore, so this makes it infinitely easier on the bandwidth side and the website and the hosting. So it's just gotten a lot better as time's progressed. Things that we should have realized earlier, but again, it's a learning craft, so it's one of those things that we'll eventually kind of learn and get right. But the whole process is we wanted a really good revival of Geekcast Radio. We wanted to kind of bring it back to its roots. We wanted to have everything back in. You'll be able to, there's new pages that I'm still currently building out, where you'll be able to click, say, Altered Geek, or Geekcast Radio, or Future Imperfect. There'll be a banner, the pod art, who's in it, how many current episodes there are of whenever the last time I edited that page will be, a little bit of a description, and then every way to subscribe to it, followed by the most recent posts and then the archives. So you'll be able to kind of get a nice mixture there. So that's one of the nice features that we're building out. I didn't really see any podcast networks or any sites doing this, and I thought that this would be kind of something that was unique to us. And we'll also have, like I said, our old catalog on the website. We will also have a mailing list that people will be able to stay subscribed to, with various other things. So, like, if there's new articles, and it's only going to come out once a week. I myself hate it when I get those daily emails, and you get a lot of the recycled stuff from previous days. We want kind of a weekly roundup. So every Friday at, I want to say, noon, a email will go out if you sign up for it. We're completely GDPR friendly on the website. There's no security issues. We've got SSL. We've got a lot of security built in, a lot of new features. We've got a subscription-based service, which we'll flesh out more later on. However, the key elements of it, and I'm still tweaking some things, are we're going to do away with advertising on the website. I will have advertising on there, but if you're a paid subscriber, you won't see it. Additionally, it's a way to support the site without necessarily having to have a Patreon, and it would be kind of a community builder on Geekcast Radio, akin to things like IGN or some of those other services. It's more so to help support us and kind of do away with the middleman of IGN, or not IGN, but Patreon. Not that I have anything against Patreon, I just, why have a third party manage it for us when we can do it? I can lock content down the same way that they can. It's not a big deal. So anyways, we'll have exclusive content and podcasts that will be exclusive to subscribers built in. Specific RSS feeds, you only be able to access it if you're at certain tier levels. The benefit here is everyone will have the same access, whether you pay yearly, monthly, or quarterly. You will have the same access across the board. So it just depends on how you want to pay. And there'll be opportunities too where we'll comp people based on, like, kind of a part of a contest, along with winning physical items. They'll be, kind of winning a subscription. It's a lot going on kind of behind the scenes, so it's still a work in progress, but we still have pretty solid plans of what we're doing with it. There's going to be a lot of perks in that regard. So, also, another feature that kind of fell by the wayside in 2013 that we talked about in a meeting, when we live stream on YouTube for Geekcast Radio, we had no way of having it on the website. I fixed that in this version. Still working on the chat aspect, but, I mean, for the most part, if somebody wants to have the chat aspect, they can go to YouTube and do it there, or converse with us on our Discord, which I will drop later on. So there's a lot of functionality coming to the site. Roundabout way of saying this, the new site has a lot more interactive ability, a lot more content, a lot more kind of ways to get back to things that we used to have. Some of the shows will be going a little bit simpler, or kind of reminiscent and nostalgically geared towards its early roots of content, so you'll expect some of that. But yeah, I'm very, 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 very excited for 2019 and what it has to offer, and what Geekcast Radio will be able to do for you. And I hope that, and my hopes is that If there's something you feel we could do better, if there's something you feel that we're not quite strong enough, you'll let us know, because we want to serve you the best that we can, as well as have fun with it. I mean, there's no point if none of us are having fun, and that's kind of the way that we're going to kind of keep the accountability going here. So now that I've cut like 10 minutes in talking about geekcastradio.com, we're going to have some awesome guests coming to the show. I signed up for podcastguest.com, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's a paid service for the most part. There's a newsletter that goes out weekly, and they offer services of promoting your shows, and you get a special like Google Doc, Excel setup where people can fill out and sign up for a guest hosting position on your podcast, which is awesome. And I didn't honestly think that I was going to get as many interesting people asking to be on the show as I did. Being I can't shuffle it mentally, I had to create a scheduling plugin, or find one, for alteredgeek.com, kind of a back-end thing, so that I could send them links to schedule with me for the podcast. So I have block scheduling set up for everyone, so that we can get all of these people on the show, and I don't necessarily have to have them all come out weekly. The goal is there'll be kind of a midweek treat, while the regular show will still be on Fridays. So I'm backlogging, I think, 8 episodes next week, because I'm doing back to back 4 episodes in a row, 2 nights in a row. So this will be interesting to see how this goes down. And then I've got schedules weeks in advance for the next like 3 to 4 weeks. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be kind of fun. We're going to talk geeky topics. We're going to talk what these people are skilled at, whether it's marketing, whether it's people that are tied to the film industry, whether it's people that are tied to television, writers, people that just love talking pop culture and geek culture. So it's good. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be kind of different. So it's going to be kind of the Geekcast Radio Spotlight edition, like what I did last year, or I want to say it was 2017, where we conversed with another actress that was on the network. And so, like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be interesting. So I hope you guys will enjoy that spotlight as it goes weekly or bi-weekly, however it turns out being edited. Additionally, All Things Transformers will return. Future Imperfect will return. So if you're looking for Star Trek conversation that's strictly Star Trek, I have a plethora of topics that is ready for the next episode. I'm just waiting for the first episode of Season 2 of Discovery to launch, and then I can talk about that, the Star Trek short treks, and all of the news that's surrounding Trek right now with the various series coming out, and my thoughts on the Picard series with the destruction of Romulus taking place and whatnot. So that'll be a lot of fun. I've got a lot of thoughts on Transformers as well. So it's going to be a fun year getting back into the swing of things, and I'm looking forward to it. 2018 may have blown chunks, but we accomplished something. We got the new site going. So I'm looking forward to 2019. I hope you guys are too. So getting into the gaming aspect that I was looking forward to the most, I managed to go on Steam, and I found Batman Arkham City Game of the Year Edition, which essentially was the game I paid $60 for and then dropped another $40 to get almost all the add-ons and the Harley Quinn expansion, and all the skins and everything else. So this is basically everything rolled into one. I got it for $4. $4 on my PC. I still haven't gotten through Game Plus mode, where I can use any skin I want throughout the game. But I'm having fun with something else too that I bought at the same time. So anyways, I beat the game once through. Pretty easy to do. I didn't die at all. I think, well, maybe I died once, but that was it. And then I still had my Xbox 360 controllers plugged into my computer. The only problem was that I had with the game was when I went to quit, I had to Control-Alt-Delete and end the task to get out of the game because, for whatever reason, it won't actually quit. It was the strangest thing. But I'm not disappointed because I played the game on the Xbox for so long, like for 3 years when I had the 360, consistently. And so getting to revisit the world and kind of play in that realm again is a lot of fun. Now, I will say I got Arkham Knight, which, if you remember, probably 150 episodes ago, it came out on the Xbox One. It may have even been longer than that. May have been, I want to say, somewhere around episode 50? Maybe even 20? I don't know. Like, there was rumors or thoughts of Arkham Knight coming out. So anyways, man, that was a long time ago. It came out on the Xbox One, and I refused to buy the Xbox One just for a game, which I'm glad I didn't, and I'm glad I picked the game up. It was like $6, and then I got the 1989 Batman suit and Batmobile skins for another $4 or $3 or something in that realm. Anyways, all together, I spent $12. So it wasn't a bad deal at all for all three of those things. And so I've been playing Arkham Knight. I know how the storyline goes. Some people have already kind of ridiculed me on Twitter for attempting to just blast through the main storyline and then come back in Game Plus mode and beat the game to get the more full package of the story, which I get it, but I watched all the cinematics and gameplay on YouTube when the game came out because I wanted to know how the story ended. So I know how it ends, although I've forgotten some details. I still basically know how it ends. But it's been a lot of fun. The Batmobile is a little bit of a learning curve, but I picked it up really quick because I used to play Pod Racer and Fury 3 and games like that a lot, so it's not that much different. I liked the battle mode. I liked the blasting through the streets and all the various add-ons and everything else that you can upgrade on it. Some of the controls on the game itself with like Batman and toggling between his stuff and all the different side missions can get confusing on the gamepad just because it's laid out different than Arkham City, which I'm not used to. But overall, I've enjoyed the game so far. I've enjoyed the difficulty. It is much harder in some regards, but it's somewhat easier. It's more of a button masher in a lot of regards. I like the tag team battles. I like the Batmobile aspects. I like the remote Batmobile aspects and a lot of the voice synthesizers and a lot of the new gear that comes in the game. I like getting into Wayne Manor and with Lucius. There's a lot of fun stuff with it. I'm not particularly thrilled with Scarecrow because I hate Scarecrow. But I love the Joker being throughout the storyline and Harley and Penguin's kind of there, but it doesn't really matter. I haven't seen Two-Face yet, but I haven't played that storyline either. I saw Man-Bat, I saw Firefly, both of which got away. Not real concerned with it. But I'm having fun with the game. I'm playing it. I'm just trying to get as much as I can done. I'm to the point where I'm fighting Harley and her cronies before you get to see the Jokers, the final one, and the old man reveal himself. Can't remember his name. But anyways, he reveals himself as another Joker, and then you see Batman as one of the Jokers. So it's I'm almost to that point in the game. So it's getting a lot more interesting, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of kind of rubbing your head, trying to think of things. I like that there's some differential stuff between Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, and Arkham Origins. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to completing the game and kind of seeing how it goes. Maybe sometime I'll do a live stream of it when I get more time. I have my green screen. It'll be interesting to try it out and kind of see how everything plays through. I haven't done a live stream since I've gotten Comcast back. But I'm also thinking about doing some video podcasts, so I'm not sure if you guys are interested in that. Like, I know we did some live streams on this show, but I'm thinking about doing some Twitter-only live streams of just some quick, like, 10-minute podcasts that I'll repurpose into, like, a short podcast throughout the week, or maybe 5-minute podcasts, where they're kind of Altered Geek bites, like tidbit information. And so I'm wondering what you guys think on that concept there. Kind of conversing on some of the various geek topic, or maybe picking one geek topic and talking about it for 5 minutes, or a geek article, something in that regards. I do plan on talking CES next week because there's some interesting things that I saw coming through that, and I always have fun with technology. But I think I'm going to cut this episode short because, like, I am sitting in my car recording this on my break, and I'm not sure how much of the sound from the engine keeping me warm because it's like 20 degrees out is getting through on the recording. But I'm really loving being back. I'm hoping you guys are pumped for 2019 and all that we're going to have on geekcastradio.com, among other things. So until next time, geeks, feel free to contact me on the Twitters at SCP21 and at Altered Geek. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips, and until next time, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.